problem.
Good morning, good chodesh. Today's daf is daf tzadi aleph, page 91, and we are dealing with the concept of liquids that accompany karbanos, nesachim. This is what we find in the Torah, Parsha Shlach. The Mishnah says, Kol karbanos, tzibur ve'ayachid, tunin nesachim, all karbanos, communal or individual, are going to need wine to go along with them. That's a reference to olos and shlamim. Except for bechor, meiser behema, carbon pesach, achatos, and an asham. They don't get wine with them. They don't have liquids with them, with the exception of the chatas of a mitzora and the asham of a mitzora that do need nesachim. The Gemara has a brisa quoting psukim there in Parsha Shlach to explain all these laws. So finally the Gemara had said, why does it say mina bakar o min hatzon in that pasuk? Lasos reach nichoach laHashem mina bakar o min hatzon. So the Gemara says, I would have thought that an ola sa'ov also needs nesachim. That's what it says, mina bakar min hatzon. That's the view of Rabbi Yoshia. Rabbi Yonasan said no. Ola Sa'ov certainly is not going to get Nesachim because it talks about Zevach. Ola Sa'ov is not a Zevach. It's killed by Malika. It's not a Zevach. It's not slaughtered. So why does it say Mina Bakar O Minatzon? Says Rabbi Yonasan, the reason why it says Mina Bakar O Minatzon is for a different law, not really about Nesachim. It's about vows. If a person made a neder and he said, I'm going to bring an Ola, so I might have thought that if he says a neder, I'm going to bring an Ola, it means he has to bring both an animal, both calf, as well as sheep. Because the pasuk says, Adam ki yakim yikem carbon laHashem mina be'imah, mina bakar u'minatzon. Since it says if he'll bring a carbon, he'll bring mina bakar u'minatzon, I might have thought that any time he says, I have to bring an ola carbon, he has to bring both the bakar and the tzon. That's what it says over here, not mina bakar u'minatzon, it says here, mina bakar u'minatzon, to say ratza echad maybe, ratza shnayim maybe. If he wants to bring one, he can bring one. Want to bring two, then he can bring two. So asks the Gemara of Rabbi Yonasan, starting here again at the very bottom of Tzadi and Beis. Now, according to Rabbi Yonasan, Lama Likra, why does it need a pasuk? Mina bakar o minatzon, to say that when a person makes a vow, it can be one or the other. It doesn't have to be both. Doesn't he say in regards to a person who is hitting or cursing his father, and whenever the Torah mentions two things, it means either or, unless it says explicitly, unless the Torah says explicitly together, then it means both. But if it says both things, it means one or the other. So here it didn't say yachtav. So of course, when a person makes a vow, he doesn't mean both a calf and a goat, a calf and a sheep. It means either or. So no, here we might have thought that it's as if it said yachtav. It's just, I still need this pasuk of mina bakar o minatzon. Because on the first pasuk of Mina Bakar Uminatzon, Tzakadat was what to say, Oh L'ksiv Uminatzon, since it says and from the sheep, Kemad L'ksiv Yachtav, it's as if it's saying Bakar and sheep, it's as if it's saying cattle and sheep together. Rabbi Yoshia. Now, according to Rabbi Yoshia, who said that the idea of Mina Bakar Uminatzon is to teach me that it's only sheep and cattle that get Nesachim, and not birds. He holds back in Masechet Sanhedrin, Afagav the looks of Yachtav. Even when the Torah doesn't say the word Yachtav. It's as if the Torah did say Yachtav. And when the Torah mentions two things, it means that you need both of them. So why? How could he say Mina Bakar O Minatzon is to teach me that birds don't get Nesachim? Pasuk Mina Bakar O Min Hatzon should be needed to teach me that when a person makes a vow to bring a carbon, he doesn't bring both sheep and cattle. He brings either sheep or cattle. That's what I need, O Min Hatzon. So my answer is no. He'll tell you, I know that idea that a vow doesn't require both. The vow can be either or. It's from a different verse, in fact, in regards to Ola. So the answer is Haksiv, because he has the following pasuk back in regards to Ola. Im Ola Karbano min habakar, and then another pasuk, v'im min hatzon karbano. It says explicitly if his ola karban is from a cattle, or if his ola karban is from sheep. So that verse tells me that when he makes a vow, I'm going to bring an ola, it could mean either a cattle or a sheep. It doesn't mean both cattle and sheep.
But he could do it if he wants to.
Or if he wants to, he can do it. Right? He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Now, what's Rabbi Yona's son going to do with that pasuk? He'll tell you, I need both psukim. He'll just say, from the first pasuk, I would have thought only if he explicitly says, I'm making as an ola, or I'm donating an ola of cattle, and it just means cattle. But if he just said, I'm making an ola, I donate an ola, then he should be bringing out of both. So I have to have the second pasuk, which says, Mina bakar o minatzon. Amar Mar, we learned in that brisa, Toda minayin. How do we know that a Toda gets Nesachim, is accompanied with wine, and that the loaves have oil, it has liquids to accompany it? Tamaloma, that's what it says, O Zavach, or a slaughtered item. So, or slaughtered item included Shlamim. When it said O Zavach, it's to include Toda too. Ask the Gemara, understand, Atu Toda lav Zavach, why do I need the word O? The word Zavach itself should include a Toda. The Toda is a Zavach. Answer the Gemara, no, I do need it. We thought to say, since the Toda certainly has breads, Loti by Nesachim. So we would have thought if it has breads, that already is its mincha, that's its offering of a plant item. It wouldn't need wine.
So how about the wine?
So you need a pasuk Zevach to include wine even for a Toda.
Who drank the wine over there?
Nobody drinks the wine.
The Kohen?
No, on top of the Mizbeach, on the corner, there are two pitchers. The Kohen walks around to that corner. He pours the wine into the pitcher, and it goes down into a pipe, and then from the pipe into the depths of the Har HaMoriah, and that pipe is called the Shitin, the channels that go all the way into the depths of Har HaMoriah.
So no drinking in Beit HaMikdash.
No, it's
not allowed, right?
Not allowed. No one can be drunk in the Beis HaMikdash. It's a big avera to be drunk in the Beis HaMikdash.
And then we learned that pipe gets all gooked up and they come to clean it.
One idea is that they would come down to clean it once every 70 years, and the other idea is that no, they wouldn't even clean it. It would always go straight down. So now the Gemara says, why would you think that a Toda doesn't need Nesachim? Why would it be any different from the ram brought by a Nazir as part of his purification? That ram needs bread. And it also needs to have wine with it. Yes, the Gemara, I'll tell you what I would have thought. I would have thought to say Hasam in regards to El Nazir, Shnei Minim. It's only two types of chalas. But here it's four types of chalas. When it's four types of chalas, maybe it doesn't need any nesachim because all the chalas take the place of the nesachim. Kamash Malan, that's when you possible Ozevach to say that a Toda also needs nesachim. Okay, so now we learned in the Brisa that from the fact that it says Lefali Neder O Benedava, that's to tell you that what needs nesachim, those karbanos that could be brought as a neder or nedava, and not, let's say, something like a karban asham or karban chatas, which could never be donated. Says the Gemara, Lichta Rachmana lefalei neder o nedava, lo boy ola. Why did the Torah say both the word ola and lefalei neder o nedava? Once it says that it's an item that you could donate through a nedava or a neder, so that includes ola, because olas could be donated. Anything that could be donated. So why do I have to have the word ola explicitly to say that an ola gets wine? Answer the Gemara, look, because Rachmana ola, if Hashem would not have said the word ola, avamina, I would have said that the following. I would have said that maybe there's a klal upratu klal. I would have said when the Torah says vasi semishe la Hashem, you're going to make a fire offering to Hashem, that would be a klal. That's a general rule. Anything that goes into the fire should have nesachim. I would have thought it includes even a minchas nedava. Then when it says lefalei neder nedava, to express as a vow or nedava, I would have said pratis. Not everything. It's only those things that are donated. Then when it says again l'reach nichoach, good morning, chodesh tov. Then it says l'reach nichoach, to give a nice smell. I would have thought that means chazer b'kala. That's again another klal to include all sorts of karbanos. So we said klal upratu klal yatadan al keina prat. You have a rule. When you have a general rule and a detail, another general rule, you keep interpreting it based on that detail, common denominator of the detail. So my problem for davar she'eino ba'al chet. So lefali neder l'nedava means things that aren't coming for a sin. Av kol she'eino ba'al chet. So I think anything which doesn't come for a sin has nesachim. Otzi chatas v'asham. I would exclude carbon chatas and carbon asham. Shein bayin al chet, because they do in fact come for sin. Avi b'chor u'maiser v'pesach, and I would include b'chor, maaser behema, carbon pesach. Shein bayin al chet, they don't come for a sin. It's not that when you bring a carbon pesach, it's to atone for a sin. So I think that carbon pesach does need nesachim. So that's why Talmud Loma. That's I need to have the word ola. When I have the word ola. The word ola is saying that no, that the klal prat to klal is not relevant. It has to be things like an ola, which could be donated. Since Bechor is not donated, since Pesach is not donated, you can't say, I'm going to donate a Pesach. Pesach is an obligation, that's it. There's no added nedavos. You can't choose to donate another Pesach besides what you're obligated. So Pesach is not obligated. Things like an ola, and not a Pesach.
Right, but understand, it's explicitly written. It's only things that are donated or vowed.
Right.
So
but through a klal upratu klal, you might have said that the other points are also explicit. L'reach nichach, it's saying anything which is reach.
And you uproot that which it says specifically.
Yeah, you'd interpret that which is explicit through the rubric of klal upratu klal.
They donated to who, Rabbi?
To the mizbeach. If someone wants to donate something more, he says, okay, I'm giving another olah. He can donate whatever he wants.
All these korbanot are donations, aren't they?
They're obligations.
They're
obligations. So in a second, so now says, so hashad chsiv olah. So now that you're interpreting the word olah, that the only things that need wine are things that could be donated, davar shenidar v'nidav, and to exclude a chatas or an asham or a bechor or meiser behema or pesach. So klalu pratu klal my marber space. So what are you going to do with the klalu pratu klal? What is the generalization, detail and generalization actually including? Answers the Gemara. It's teaching us the following. Mahaprat, just like this detail. Olo zevach lefali neder b'nedava meforash sheinu mechuyev v'omeid. Right, as David just pointed out, the prat of something which is expressed through a vow. It's not an obligation that you have standing on you. It's something which is a new vow that you created an obligation. Afkol she'eino mechuyev v'omeid. So to anything where there's no standing obligation demanding it. Lahaviv lados kach. That's to say that if you have a carbon which was pregnant and then it gave birth, utmurasa, or if you have an ola and then you tried to swap it for another animal, so now both have the status of ola, or ola ba min amosros. Let's say the situation we spoke about yesterday, the extras for the nesachim when hekdesh gets more than what it had ordered, or the heap on top of the amount that was poured in, or asham shenita kliriyah. Let's say you have a carbon asham that its owners died, and so you sent it out for pasture. It's supposed to pasture until it gets a blemish, and then you're going to use the money to buy with it olos. Let's say this asham before that happened was actually slaughtered as an olah. Or all karbanos that were slaughtered for the wrong sanctification. So all of these karbanos are karbanos that they didn't get created through a neder right now. They got created in another way. There was a carbon, then there was an animal born from the carbon. It was a carbon, then something was swapped for this carbon. So that also became a carbon. It wasn't through a neder. So since though they were not an obligation before, it wasn't as if there's, you have an obligation of Pesach. You don't have an obligation of Tmuras Ola. If you do a Tmuras Ola, then there's an obligation then there's a Tmuras Ola. But there's no pre-standing obligation of Tmuras Ola. These karbanos, based on the Klal Pratu Klal, are included to get Nesachim. And the only thing that's excluded from Nesachim are things like Bechor, Meiser, and Pesach. Okay. So that's what you need the Klal Pratu Klal for. So again, said the Gemara, So now, Hashadaksiv Ola, Klal Upratu Klal Mai Marbispe. Now that we have the word Ola, what do we include from Klal Upratu Klal? The answer like this. The detail is something which there wasn't a pre-existing obligation for. Therefore, Avkol Sheina Mechuyev V'Omeid, so to anything which there wasn't a pre-existing obligation for, has this law of Nesachim. That tells you that a child of a karban, the Tmur of a karban, Ola Bam and Amosros, the Ola that we spoke about yesterday, that comes from the extra gains of Hektesh. Asham Shenitak L'Re'iyah, a karban asham that was supposed to go out to pasture and then a person chose to slaughter it. Or a karban, whatever it was, and now it was slaughtered for the wrong karban. So these are not pre-existing obligations. They also therefore need nesachim. Okay. Says the Gemara. V'hashta. And now to Amrit O Lidrasha. We got into this discussion because we were talking about the word O. Mina bakar O minatzon. So that either taught us Mina bakar O minatzon and not Mina Oaf, not from the birds, or the fact that it said Mina bakar O minatzon is to say that when a person says a vow, Re'olai Ola, he can either bring bakar or he can bring tzon, either bakar or sheep. So now that we are interpreting the word O in Parsha Shlach, many times it says the word O. So we're going to see multiple drashos from the word O. Now that you see that the word O teaches you a drasha, now let's go to the other O's in that pasuk. L'falei neder O b'nedava. When it says, when do you have to bring wine with the karban? When you are expressing a vow or a donation. So lamali l'chalkam. Why do I need the word O to divide them? Says the Gemara like this. It's trich. I need it to teach me the following. If it would have said l'falei neder unedava, I would have thought to say adamaisi neder unedava lo libai nesachim. The only time he'd have to bring the sachim is if he both does a neder and a nedava. Kamash, that's what it says l'falei neder o b'nedava, to tell me the aisi neder l'chudei, if he's bringing a neder by itself, libai nesachim, it needs wine. The aisi nedava l'chudei, or if he does just a nedava by itself, aisi nesachim, he has to bring wine. What's the difference between a neder and a nedava? We've seen this many times. A neder is where a person says harei olai, behold, on me is incumbent the obligation of, let's say, a shlamim or an olah. So then it's on him, and if the animal dies, he has to replace it. And a dava is where he says, Harei zu ola. This animal is an ola or a shlamim. If it dies, he doesn't need to replace it. So Gemara says, okay, that's fine according to Rabbi Yoshia, who says that when you have two things mentioned, let's say by cursing father, it says Aviv v'imo. So I would have thought when it says Aviv v'imo, it means both. You need both. El Rabbi Yonasan, who says that the only time it means both. When it says Yachtav, Salam Alis, well again, why do I need the word O? It doesn't say Yachtav here that I should need the word O in order to say either one. So the answer to the Gemara, no, still, Sagadat Chamina, we're supposed to say, I see Neder L'chudei Libai Nesach. You're right. If he just brings a Neder, then it would need wine. I see Nadav L'chudei Libai Nesach. If he just brings a Nadav, it would need wine. But I would have thought to say that I see Neder Unadava. But if he makes a Neder, and he makes a Nadava, and he brings these two animals into the Beis HaMikdash, I would have thought this give Nesachim L'chad Mehem. All you should need is one set of Nesachim. Because it says, if it would have said Neder Unadava, I would have thought that when you do both, you only need one Nesachim. Kamash, that's why you have to have the word O. The word O is to say that no, that it's either or, and therefore the Neder has its own obligation of Nesachim, and the Nedava gets its own obligation of Nesachim. If he made both a Neder and a Nedava, he brings two sets of Nesachim. One thing of wine for the Neder, one thing of wine for the Nedava. All right, next letter O. Next time that says word O. We already have two interpretations from O. We have another third verse now with the word O. The verse says again there in Shlach, O b'moadechem. Lamali, why does it have to say the word O? Answer the Gemara, Sakal Adachmina, would have thought to say, Hani immediately, when is this true that you have to bring the Nesachim for the Neder or for the Nedava? I would have thought to Kamaisi Ola b'Neder. If you're bringing an Ola through a Neder, Ushlam b'Nedava, and a Shlam as a Nedava. Inami Yipko, the opposite, an Ola as a Nedava, and the Shlam as a Neder. Avalecha the Kamaisi Ola Shlam and bit Neder, but if you're bringing both an Ola and a Shlam with a Neder, Inami or Ola and a Shlam as a Nedava, then I would have thought to say Shem Neder Echad, since both the Ola and the Shlam are coming from a Neder, or both the Ola and the Shlam are coming from a Nedava, Since there's one source of obligation, one type of obligation, Shem Nedava Achas, Tizglim Nesachim Dechad, we think all you need is one set of Nesachim. Kamashman, that's why you have to say another time the word b'moadeichem, to say that no, we don't just say that one source creates one obligation of Nesachim, we say each Karban creates its own obligation of Nesachim. Alright, now another time it says the word O. It says, V'chisa seven bakar ola o zavach. So why does it say ola o zavach? Why does it say O in this pasuk? Lamri? Again, it's in Parashat Shlach about the Nesachim. So again, we need this too. Talk about that. We're thought to say, Hani Mili, when is there a law of Nesachim? I see Ola Ushlam bin Neder. When he's bringing an Ola and a Shlamim through a Neder. Inami Ola Ushlam bin Adava. Where he brings both an Ola and a Shlam through an Adava. Then there's Nesachim for the Ola, there's Nesachim for the Shlamim. Avalecha the Kamaisi Shtei Olos, but when he's bringing two Olos. Chada bin Neder v'chada bin Adava. One as a Neder and one as an Adava. Inami, right, but it's the same type of carbon. Different sources, but the same item. Inam, your turn of lishnei shlam. He's bringing two shlamim. Ech ben neder, ech ben nedava. One because of a neder, the other because of a nedava. Ema, that since I would have thought shem shlam achasi, since it's all a shlamim, or shem ola achasi, it's all an ola. Because you should only need to have one set of nesachim. Mashwan have to have another time the word o to say no. Each one gets its own nesachim. What about the fact that it says lefali neder? Oh, shlamim lamali. Again, why did it say the word oh in this pasuk? Lefali neder oh shlamim. So my answers. After that, we know we thought to say, Ani mili. When is it true that each gets its own nesachim? Eichad amaisi shtei olos. When he's bringing two olos, as we just said, chad b'neder v'chad b'nedava. One has a neder and one has a nedava. Then each gets its own nesachim. Inami shnei shlam. Or if he's bringing two shlamim, chad b'neder v'chad b'nedava. One has a shlamim, one has a neder, one has a nedava. Then each gets its own nesachim. But when he's bringing both two olos from one neder, ushte olos benedava, and two olos from a nedava, inami shnei shlamim beneder, or two shlamim because of a neder, shnei shlamim benedava, and two shlamim because of a nedava, I would say shem ola achasi echadu, the shem neder echadu, since both of these karbanos are ola, and they also both come from neder. Both of these karbanos are shlamim, and they both come from nedava. So in this case, I would think tizglei b'nesachim dechad. All you need is one set of nesachim.
But no.
Kamashman. That's again we have another time the word o to say each one gets its own nesachim.
So you never get two for one.
You never can fulfill two karbans nesachim obligations with one nesachim. Each karban gets its own nesachim, whether it's two karbanos for one neder, whether it's one for the neder, one for the neder, doesn't matter. You always have to bring a separate nesachim.
Rabbi, is it fair to say that when it says or is either one, and when it says and, meaning both of them?
Okay, could have thought that.
That was one idea. Isn't that the bottom line?
That's the idea of Rav Yoshia. That's one idea. Yeah, it's one idea. It's one point. We also have the idea of Rabbi Yonasan. So now the Gemara says, Rabbi Yoshia, we all began with the fact that it says Mina Bakar O Minatzon. Rabbi Yoshia interprets that to mean that cattle and sheep get wine, but not birds. Now, Rabbi Yoshia, according to Rabbi Yoshia, Hi, Mina Bakar O Minatzon Lamli. Why did you have to say the word O? Could have just said Mina Bakar U Minatzon to exclude birds. Why did you have to say the word O? As the Gemara we thought to say Hani Mili. When is it that you bring nesachim for each carbon separately? Betray meaning when it's two different types of creatures. One carbon is a cattle, the other carbon is a sheep, so each one gets its own nesachim. But when it's two of the same type, so then I would think, okay, it's okay to have just one set of nesachim. The last one, that's where the chiddush is from the word O to say that each carbon gets its own nesachim. Now, it says later on there in Parsha Shlach, Kacha tasu lo echad, so you shall do for one of them. Okay, so that itself is saying, so you shall do for one of them, that each one gets its own nesachim. Suddenly, what do I need this pasuk for? Answer the Gemara, Sakadat, we thought to say, Hani Mili, when is it true that we have all these drashos that each carbon gets its own nesachim? when he made promises one after the other, or he consecrated them one after the other, he made one holy, then he made the other one holy. But when he made them holy all at once, so maybe all you need is nesachim for one. That each one gets its own nesachim. Even when he consecrated them all at once, each one gets its own nesachim. All right, going back to the Brisa. The Brisa said, actually the Mishnah even. The Mishnah says normally a chatas and an asham don't have wine. The exception of liquids accompanying a carbon, which is a chatas and an asham, is a mitzorah. But the chatas and the asham of a mitzorah do need liquids. How do we know this, that the chatas and the asham of a mitzorah need nesachim? It says about a mitzorah, v'kav sachas b'shnasa tmima u'shlosha esonim soles mincha belulav hashemet. So it's saying b'mincha b'ayim hazevach. We're talking about a mincha that's coming along with the carbon hakasim medaber. Since you have 3 sheep, for ola, for chatas, and for asham, so that's why it says u'shlosha esonim soles. You have to have 3 menachos and isaron for each one. Atam b'mincha b'ayim hazevach. You're saying it's the mincha coming along with the carbon. But maybe maybe the pasuk is saying that he has to bring 3 animals as a mitzorah becoming pure, plus he has to bring a separate mincha of 3 asronim. The answer to the Gemara, no. Since it says since it says he will bring up the ola and the mincha to the mizbeach, the pasuk is saying that the mincha is accompanying the ola. So it's a minchas nesachim. I don't know if it needs wine or not. How do I know it needs wine with it? That's what it says. Why does the Torah say al ha'ola ola zevach? So the fact is to say the following: ola is a reference to olas mitzorah. There's wine. Zevach is chatas mitzorah, and ola zevach is to say that the asham mitzorah also gets wine. So says the Gemara, v'tepikle tarvayu mizevach. Why do I need to have all these words? The Torah could have just said the word zevach, and that would include asham and chatas. As we learned in regards to Nazir. The verse says, he takes the hair of his nazirs that he cut off. And he puts it into the fire that's underneath the shlamim sacrifice. So we learned a chatas of a nazir and an asham of a nazir. Minayin, how do we know that if he puts the hair in the fire underneath the pots cooking the chatas and the asham, it also works? Well, that's what it said. Zevach hashlam. So zevach hashlam is to include chatas and asham. So you see that there the word zevach itself included chatas and asham. So in regards to a mitzorah's karbanos getting wine with them, the word zevach itself should include chatas and asham. You don't need to have both o as well as zevach. The Gemara, one second, answers the Gemara the question. Hani mili, when is it true that from the word zevach we can include both chatas and asham? When they are both the same. There's both the chatas and the asham of the nazir are doing the same thing. They're purifying him, they're permitting him to enter into the Beis HaMikdash. However, avol heicha to asham lahachshiv. But in regards to mitzorah, the asham is making him kosher again. The chatas is lachaper. The chatas of the asham is an atonement for the sin that caused him to get the chatas of the mitzorah is an atonement for the sin that got him tzaras in the first place. The lashon hara, the arrogance that got him tzaras. So there, I wouldn't have said that they're both including the word zevach because they are accomplishing different goals. That's why being a trei kroi, we needed the word o and the word zevach to say that the chatas and the asham of a mitzorah also have wine with them. Yeah, question.
The Nazirs, the haircut they got, was on the premises of Beit HaMikdash, Rabbi, or they did them outside, they brought the hair in?
I don't remember exactly, but I do think it was in the Azara, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
On the premises?
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
But once we say that there's wine for a chatas, how do we have the right to say
Barber
earlier that
shop
we
too.
exclude chatas? We see a fair pasuk that a chatas
We
should
do
have wine.
exclude chatas.
Maybe
This is the
matzah.
exception. The Mishnah said the exception is based on this pasuk. O zevach. We're going to see soon. What other set of karbanos? Do you have 3 karbanos? Ola, chatas, and asham. That the 3 words can be including all 3. So this is the exclusion. This does get wine. Nothing else does. So now we learned in the Brisa zevach zo chatas mitzora. Zevach is chatas mitzora. O zevach is asham mitzora. The Ema, so the Gemara now suggests, why do you say it's chatas mitzora? Why don't you propose something like what David is saying? So chatas v'asham de nazir. Maybe it includes some other chatas. The chatas and the asham of a nazir should need wine. Where's the little sakadadich? You can't think to say that. The Tanya, because we're in a brisa. The verse says about a nazir, umin chasam, and their menachos v'nis kehen. And their nesachim. That means ba'olaso v'shlama v'akasam edzaber. The pasuk is saying that the ola of the nazir, the shlam of the nazir, that gets nesachim, that gets wine. Atom ba'olaso v'shlama. You're saying it's his ola and his shlamim get wine, or elafilu chatas, maybe even his chatas gets wine. That's what the verse says. V'es ha'ayil yaseh zevach shlamim. It says, and the ram he should make a shlamim, umin chaso v'nisko, with his mincha and his nesach. So 1 second. Ayil b'chlal ayil. Ayil is one of the karbanos of Nazir. And it says about the Nazir's karbanos mincha sam v'niskehem. They have menachos and nesachim. So lama yatzah. So why does it have to explicitly say about the ayil, about the ram, that it has a mincha and a nesach? It has a mincha and it has wine. The answer is lahakish elav, to teach you that you have to learn and derive from the ram. The ayil, the ram, is the type of thing which is a form of a shlamim. As a form of a shlam, it could be donated. So to which karbanos nazir get nesachim, things that could be donated. But a chatas and an asham can't be donated. You can't say, oh, I want to give another chatas, I want to give another asham. You can't donate more. So therefore, it doesn't get nesachim. Then it goes on in the Brisa. It says, olas or olas mitzorah. The emas are olas yoledes. Why do you say that when the word ola in regards to nesachim means that the ola of a mitzorah gets nesachim? Maybe it's the ola of a woman who gives birth. Abai answered, olas yoledes. You say for the kranaf. That we learn the ola of a woman who gives birth. That's from the end of the pasuk. The Tanya went in a brisa. Rabbi Nassan says about the nesachim. V'yayin l'nesach revia sahim. Ta'aseh la'ola. Ola zevach lakeves ha'echad. So since it says lakeves ha'echad, lakeves zu olas yoledes. That's the ola of a woman who gives birth. Ha'echad. That's to say, ze achad as shel meiser shekarev shlam. When a person is counting out the 10 sheep of meiser beheman, he mistakenly counts number 10 and number 11 as 10. So then both have the status of a shlamim. The second one is also a shlamim. Normally in the Torah, you don't have the secondary more strict than the main thing. But here, right, so therefore, ha'echad, ze achad asal shal ma'aser, that it's brought as a shlamim, and therefore, here's an exception. The 11th has actually more than the 10th. The 10th doesn't have the sachim, because ma'aser behemoth doesn't have the sachim, and here it does. Rava give another answer. Since it says, ola o zevach, zeu davar shetzarich, what is something which would need 3 inclusionary things? Ola would include one thing, O would include another thing, and Zevach would include a third. That's a mitzorah who has 3 karbanos, Ola, Asham, and Chatas. And all 3 get nesachim. They all get accompanied with wine. Heavy Omer is a mitzorah. Okay, we'll stop here. Rabbi Chanani ben Akashim, Ratzak HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Zakas Yisrael. If you click on Torah mitzvah, Shnei Malech Beit Saman Tzachot, that deal.